Hi all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I typically do video reviews of products that I buy and share with you my honest feedback. Today I'm actually going to talk about products that I've tried for insomnia and also at the same time share my story of insomnia that has been persistent, severe for the past 2 months with no resolution so far. So bear with me, I'll give you my whole story. So it started on January 5th of this year, 2023, and all of a sudden I could not fall asleep or stay asleep. Initially, my symptoms were relatively mild. I thought it was going to be just another night of little sleep, and then the following night I'll be okay. That didn't happen. And in fact, it didn't happen. It hasn't happened for 2 months now, over 2 months. I have not had a good night of sleep for 2 months. And some people, when they talk about insomnia, they think of sleeping maybe 5-6 hours, or perhaps not sleeping for 1 or 2 nights a week. My insomnia is different. My insomnia is persistent, meaning that it happens every single day, every single night rather. So initially I started with taking over-the-counter stuff. So one of the things that I tried, and I've tried it before, is valerian root. I bought from this company 500 milligrams. The recommended dosage is 2 capsules, so 1 gram of valerian root. And it does have just pure valerian. Now, I've had valerian before, and for some reason I had a better effects before then with this brand. So I'm a bit critical about the concentration of valerian or the quality of valerian in this product. So I'm definitely going to continue using it, but perhaps buy a different brand, because I don't believe that this is true 1 gram that I'm taking. Typically, valerian relaxes me. I've taken it on and off for years. It's a go-to over-the-counter herbal medicine back where I'm from, and there's really no side effects, at least for me. So then I tried melatonin. I tried 5 milligram melatonin. You can buy it at regular pharmacy. That helped me a little bit, but again, I could fall asleep, but I would wake up 2 hours later, and I felt like there was an electrical current going through my body. I started taking Unisom. The first time I took it, I took half a dose. This is over-the-counter stuff that easily available at pharmacies. I tried the generic drug, and when I couldn't fall asleep with it, I started having restless leg syndrome, where my legs would twitch, or I don't twitch is probably the best term, every 30 seconds or so. And this was probably the effects of the drug. And at the same time, I felt like in my head that there was almost like a jolt of electricity from the drug trying to make me fall asleep, but there was a sort of block right in the front of the head. So if I took Unisom at the beginning of the night, I could probably sleep for about 5 hours. Then the symptoms started to get more severe. Now, one thing I noticed, that when the symptoms started, I was at the very end of my cycle, meaning I was my period was coming in the next couple of days. So perhaps I thought it was PMS or something like that. And I still believe that there is some kind of hormonal connection to what I'm experiencing, because in the following 2 months, I've tried a whole bunch of stuff, and so far nothing has worked. So another thing that I tried was ashwagandha, And this is, I believe, an Indian product or originated in India or popular in India. Um, Basically, it typically does not have any side effects except for it does have some effect on thyroid. So be careful if you have um, issues with your thyroid. Read some papers. I did too. I would not use it long term for sure, but for me, ashwagandha, the serving size for this particular product is one capsule. It has ashwagandha root and leaf extract, 125 milligrams, standardized to 10%, um, with vanillide glycosides, 12.5 milligram. I don't know what that means. Anyway, the point is, I tried one pill, didn't work, really didn't feel much, so I went up to 3 pills, and it does make me feel relaxed, more relaxed than the valerian root. So I tried that, but again, I would take it before going to bed, and I would be completely relaxed, but ultimately I would not be able to fall asleep still because I felt this some sort of a block in my head. So then I heard that glycine helps with sleep as well. So this is a 1000 milligram glycine, and somebody recommended to take 3 grams, so 3 pills of these. The recommended dose is 1. I tried that, and I did feel the effects of relaxation. Um, it was moderate, maybe mild to moderate. So there's definitely an effect. I combined these two, super relaxed, but still wasn't able to fall asleep. So I was getting desperate. And another thing I tried that really didn't work for me for sleep specifically is taurine. This is 1500 milligram, and the recommended dosage is 3 pills. It's supposed to help with brain activity. Before bed, I tried it. It really didn't do anything for me, so perhaps I'm not using it correctly. But I would say this is definitely a no if you're suffering from insomnia. Another thing I read was about magnesium. So I bought this powder. This is magnesium, 200 milligrams, and it has something called inositol NF, which is supposed to also help you sleep. And then I started doing some research regarding really how beneficial magnesium is. And the reality is that we typically consume enough magnesium from our diet. So although it's not really harmful to you, it really doesn't do anything either. I did not feel any effects of magnesium on my insomnia at all. Then I went to a neurologist who was also a sleep medicine consultant. She has her own clinic, and at that point, I was pretty desperate in month 2 of my ordeal. And initially, she prescribed me trazodone. Trazodone, 50 milligram tablet. And her prescription was 2 to 3 tablets at bedtime as needed. So I tried to I took 50 milligrams once. It made me feel relaxed, more relaxed than over-the-counter herbal medicine for sure. But again, I was not able to fall asleep. I took 100 milligrams, still nothing. So trazodone was out. I also started having really bad headaches from trazodone. That was my severe side effect. I went back to the neurologist. She did a whole bunch of blood work, including TSH and T4 for thyroid hormones. Everything came back normal. I also consulted with the endocrinologist, and she did my sex hormones, luteal hormone, and FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, I believe that's the name of it. And thinking that there's some kind of hormonal imbalance, maybe I'm going into early perimenopause or whatever. everything came back normal again. The thing was that neither the endocrinologist nor the neurologist was taking ownership of my theory that, or was really paying attention to my theory that I thought it was hormonal imbalance. And they referred me to my GYN. In the I decided to go back to the neurologist because I was desperate and I wanted to get brain MRI and a sleep study. So she gave me a referral for that. And in the meantime, she gave me Ambien to help with sleep, hopefully. Well, I took Ambien and it gave me pretty severe these jolts of, hey, you need to fall asleep. I literally could feel electricity in my head. But again, it rarely put me to sleep. Now, I wouldn't say never, because there were a few nights where it did. But still no result. We switched to Lunesta, which is generic as Zopiclone, 2 milligram tablet. It's a higher dose than a typical, which is 1 milligram, but I was desperate. So I took half of it a few nights, and although one night it helped me, the other night it just kept me awake with these, again, jolts of electricity, restless leg syndrome, and I couldn't fall asleep. But in the beginning of the morning when I woke up, it also made me feel nauseated, just like Ambien, same kind of situation. So I did a brain MRI, came back fine, nothing, no changes. I still have not been able to do the sleep study because they schedule and reschedule, so I have it in about a month. But in the meantime, I really don't know what to do. I sleep occasionally, maybe 3 hours at most at night. The good night that I sleep is 6 hours, and it's intermittent sleeping where I wake up every 2 hours. So you can imagine how the effects after 2 months. I feel absolutely awful. And I know that some people also have this situation. I share my story with my friends and some of family, and the reaction I get is, oh, it's just, it's everybody has insomnia, right? Sometimes. But it's different. It's different, and I think a lot of people don't understand that this is different. So I wanted to share my story because I know that some people have it. Some people have it even probably more severe than I do. And also perhaps to share with you another resource that was interesting. Actually, it was a book, Blood Orange Night, that I read. It was about this woman who went through the severe insomnia and addiction to benzodiazepines. And this is the category of drugs that I have not talked about. So its main drugs are Ativan and Xanax. And I'm very cautious about that because of the withdrawal effects. And it's because of this book. And if you're interested, please read it. It's a really fascinating book. So I've taken low dose of Ativan when I'm desperate. And I can tell you, it does make me fall asleep, but it does not keep me asleep. And as soon as the half-life, which is like 4-5 hours, is over, I'm wide awake. So that's not a solution either. And really, the benzodiazepines are not a solution long-term, as I hear from the specialists. So because you just get used to that dosage and you constantly have to up it. So I definitely don't want to rely on that drug at all. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I wanted to share the story, and hopefully maybe this will help somebody to let you know that you probably are not alone suffering from this, struggling with this. And if you do have another solution maybe that I haven't tried, a lot of drugs that I've tried already, so please send me a message or comment, and I will keep you updated on the progress of this terrible, terrible condition. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.